The biggest interest will be, if it's 3-5-2 as we expect, it's going to be Nevitt and Baker Richardson down the middle. How will that work? Two number 9s, if you like, often play the same role, often interchanged, not on the pitch together very often. So that'll be something that they've discussed and worked on in the build-up. And Rio Adebisi in midfield as well. He's been excellent this season. He's played orthodox left back and right back, right wing back and left wing back. He's played on the wing in one game. Now he finds himself in central midfield. So big player for Crewe at the moment, but an unfamiliar position for him. So all those little changes, although the names on the field are apart from Billington, are all established and known names, some of the positions and roles are a little bit different, so they'll have to adapt to that quickly.
We're expecting 4-4-2 from Derby County. You mentioned that Rio Adebisi changing positions. That's unfortunate that Crewe had to do that, of course. But what do you make of how Crewe going to line up? Is it going to be 5 at the back, 3 at the back? What do you think?
Well, whatever you call it, 3-5-2 or 5-3-2. It's basically the same thing, depends whether you've got the ball or whether you haven't got it. I think realistically Crewe are going to have to soak up a bit of pressure. I don't think they're going to be able to dominate the ball. It will be hard anyway, but it'll be even more difficult today with the players that they've got missing. So I think they're going to have to be patient, they're going to have to be solid, they're going to have to concentrate and focus on their individual roles and collective roles. And if they're going to get through this tie, it's going to have to be a real solid, hard-working team effort.
I don't think we've had a mention of it's bonfire night tonight. I don't even think Phil Bowers has forgotten. It's bonfire night. Will Crewe explode? Will they be sparkling? I don't know. We're underway. First touch wasn't the best. Let's hope it gets a bit better. But they have kept possession as they attack left to right in the first half. No bonfire plugs, Peter.
Well, it was last night, wasn't it, really? It's got to be the Saturday night.
It can't be the last night. It was November the 4th. It's always got to be November
I tell you what I don't like. There's no bonfires anymore. It's all about fireworks. What happened to Guy getting... That's what we wanted.
He's shriveled up now, Guy. He's gone.
There is a game.
Thomas, under pressure. Gets it back, though, into the side of their own penalty area for Dimitrio. Wide left is Lewis Billington playing on the left-hand side. Naturally a right-footed player, but been asked a question. Nice ball forward, Crewe on the attack. Lovely ball from Thomas to Baker Richardson. Should be in for Rio Adebisi. First opportunity. Adebisi to the byline. Oh, what a chance there. And he should have really fired it in for me. They were all over the show, Derby. And then he didn't fire it in. He pulled it back for Nevitt, who'd gone too early. Big chance missed, 0-0. Well, it was an unbelievable opportunity. Mainly, what were Derby doing? Where were they? Absolutely nowhere to be seen in defence as Crewe streaked forward, and Rio Adebisi, well, he'll be kicking himself because he had options. He could have done it earlier. I think there was 3 Crewe players in the box, 1 maybe 2 maximum for the visitors, and what a strange sight that was as Crewe roared forward and so easily. Big chance missed, should have been 1-0 inside the first 90 seconds of the game. Paul Warren was quickly out of his area when he saw what they were doing. There's a great ball from Connor Thomas to set the move going. As White being pushed to the ground, loses out easily, wanted a free kick. Ball's on the edge of the penalty area, into the penalty area it goes, shot towards goal, blocked. Not the best by White, just about gets it away second time. Picked up by one of many experienced players, Colin Hurahan. Out on the right hand side goes Ryan Nyambi. Move breaks down, Crewe picking it up with Dimitrio up to the halfway line. Mistakes galore in the opening 2 minutes from both sides. It's a strange kick as well. Anyway, picked up by Hurahan.
Well, it's a little bit of encouragement, I think, for Crewe anyway. I mean, I'm not surprised Paul Warren was off his seat straight away. He wouldn't want to see that again. But just looking at the way Crewe's setting up, we've got that one right. Joe White is going to be the player to join in with the 2 strikers quickly, but I think both him and Adebisi are fairly advanced. I think Connor Thomas is going to be the holding midfield player.
Ball pumped downfield. First touch and involvement for Connor O'Reilly. Good toe. A lot of scouts here today watching the games, of course. He'll be one that we'll keep an eye on. White fires the ball downfield. This Newcastle side were winners last night. That ball wasn't very good from the low knee, out of play. Crewe line it with Harvey Davis in goal. And then it's Ryan Cooney, Luke Offord, Connor O'Reilly, Mickey Dimitrio, Lewis Billington, Rio Adebisi, Connor Thomas, Joe White, Courtney Baker-Richardson, Elliot Nevitt on the bench. Well, 9 you can name. Crewe could only find 6. Tom Booth, Charlie Colker, Aaron Rowe, Callum Agus, Lewis Nolan and Nathan Robinson. You're on BBC Radio Stoke on a Sunday afternoon, live FA Cup football. That's a good strong challenge there by Thomas. Ball out of play. Mendes Lang has got 3 in his last 3 games for Derby. Plays the ball forward. Offered, didn't play particularly well. Picked up by Max Bird, who scored 2 in midweek. Battle for the ball. 1 head injury. Referee will stop play.
Oh, he's given a free kick.
Has he? Or is he? Yeah, he has given a free kick. You're right. I thought he was stopping it for a head injury, but.
I think that ball that we saw a few moments ago from Joe White in behind, I don't think Crewe got a lot of that today. Neither Nevitt or Baker-Richardson are slow, but neither of them are really going to threaten in behind defences too much. So they're going to have to build up off them. They're going to have to provide good targets, and support needs to be around them quickly. That's how Crewe are going to progress up the pitch today.
Big test here. Hurahan, a very good set play specialist. He's got his big men forward. They include Sonny Bradley and Curtis Nelson, who has got Stoke-on-Trent relations, of course. Former Plymouth and Cardiff player. They've gone short to Mendes Lang, who's in form and is very quick on this left-hand side. Few step overs. Hurahan clears it into the penalty area. Header out. Good header out by Dimitriou. Back on the halfway line. It goes for Nyambe. He turns it back to his goalkeeper, Joe Wildsmith, who's had 1 red card this season. The goalkeeper. Plays it out to Sonny Bradley. On this left-hand side is Conor Hurahan. Derby fans are in good voice, good large following again.
It pretty much looks like a sellout from Derby, doesn't it? I think they've had a few walk-ups, as they call them.
Ball behind the defence. Billington was asleep, crossed the face of the goal. Great defending, Conor O'Riordan, and well done in the end by Billington. He managed to get it clear, but that's an early warning that you've got to be switched on and you've got to be knowing what's happening around you. Throw in on the right hand side. Derby coming in field. 0-0. Ball again behind the defence, looking for a free kick. They've got it on the right hand side. Barkhazen to Nyambe. Inside the penalty area is Bird. Players are queuing up around the penalty spot for the cross. The ball's behind the defence. The flick, and that's an early corner won by Mendes Lang on the right hand side.
Yeah, big test out there for Lewis Billington. He's a rookie in terms of experience, but also it's not really his position. Left wing back. I say not really. It's not his position.
No.
Full back maybe, centre half preferably, but he's game. He'll be up for the challenge. It's a tough one.
Well, the referee spotted a bit of pushing in the 6-yard box. It was the Derby player. That's good news before the corner was taken. And it's going to be an in-swinger from Conor Hurahan on the right-hand side at the KPI end of the ground. Whipped in with pace. Goalkeeper comes, didn't get anywhere near it. Just about cleared the lines, Crewe. And they haven't won a free kick. The referee says play on. But the goalkeeper wasn't inspiring there when he came for it. On the right-hand side. Derby building, men over, oceans of space, good pull back. Mendes Lang looking to fire a shot in from the right hand side, puts it in the penalty area. Early pressure coming on the Crewe defenders. They've got it back again, Derby. Thought about the cross, now it is digged into the penalty area. Header across the face of the goal this time. White didn't need to panic, cleared his lines. Derby fans are sensing already that their team are on top. Mendes Lang on the right hand side. And his pinky tight coloured boots. Ball into the penalty area to Connor Washington, another experienced Northern Ireland international. Nyambe running at the Crewe defence to the byline, beats Billington, cross it over the head of the crossbar, corner, the referee said. Danger signs are coming down Crewe's left hand side.
Yeah, just having too much time on the ball at the moment, Derby. Crewe were a little bit disorganised in a couple of moments where they couldn't get any pressure on the ball at all. So much so it almost surprised Mendes Lang. He almost didn't really seem to know what to do with it, but a lot of play in and around Crewe's box, defended well under the goalpost, but they need to alleviate the pressure somehow.
Different type of corner this time, opposite side, but different where they're lining up. They're all lining up around the penalty spot. Mendes Lang will take it, left side right footed. Good header out by a Crewe player, going over the other side of the field now to be picked up by Tom Barkhazen, who allows it to go out of play.
There was Billington at the near post.
And again, Crewe are not sharp to the throw-in. On the right-hand side, Nyambe not under any pressure. Into the penalty area goes. Good stop. Could go anywhere. Managed to get away with it. Not yet cleared out the penalty area. And they've got to win that challenge, and they're on the break forward now. There was a lucky escape, but they're on the attack. White looked to get Nevitt in. Free kick. And they're all over the show from the corner.
Yeah,
they got away with it.
Weren't organised, and he's made a great double save there, Harvey Davis. The second one, I don't know, it was Mickey Demetrio, or anyway, one of his own teammates that shoveled at it, ended up going straight back on target, and he saved that with his legs as well. But more than warning signs, they're let-offs.
Somewhere along the line, Rio Adebisi Majors have to tuck in a bit more on the defensive side. I know he's moved further forward, but Billington has been exposed. Free kick 10 yards inside the Derby half on this right hand side to be taken by White with his left foot. Header out, picked up. Saw a comment made by Paul Warner, who said that Crewe are very dangerous from set plays. They're fighting for the ball there, and the ball broke from O'Riordan, but it was picked out by Joe Wildsmith, the Derby goalkeeper. Ball forward, Oceans his face again. They've got a man over on the right hand side. Coming on the left hand side though. Instead to Conor Hourihan. Once of Aston Villa and Plymouth to Mendes Lang. Building in confidence. Curtis Nelson invited to join in to Nyambe. Goes past Billington, then he stops it better this time with his defending. Stopped the cross at the expense of a throw in. Crewe from the first 90 seconds where they possibly missed a real golden chance to take a shock early lead. They've been under pressure since that moment. Two corners and now a throw in right by the corner flag for Derby to try and work the move from the right hand side. Nelson, the centre back, joining in. Fed out on the left hand side to the very experienced Craig Forsyth, the Scot. 10 years plus service for Derby County. Here's Bird, good stop by White. Bird picks it back up. Hourihan, ball breaks, got to win that off it, and he does. Thomas helps out. It's poor play by Thomas, but often's going to clear his lines. And Cooney, who's had not much involvement, can't get it downfield, and it'll be a throw in to Derby. You've taken it very quickly.
No, they can't. I mean, surely number 5's over by the touchline asking for the ball back, and his teammates have found another one to play with. 15
yards downfield, but in fact he's not taking it back, the referee. He's just saying you can come back a few yards, you were a bit downfield. Earlier today in the FA Cup, shock result, or was it? Chesterfield beating Portsmouth, they're top of the National League. Portsmouth, of course, top of League One, so you've got to say it is. And Swindon are still licking the wounds from what was an amazing game yesterday at the County Ground. 7-4, where Aldershot was 7 up. Here, 11 and a half minutes of the game gone on BBC Radio Stoke. All frequencies. We're through until 5, of course, this afternoon. With myself, Graham McGarry, Peter Mawson, Phil Bowers, who likes a bit of cup football this weekend. He was out watching Port Vale yesterday, managing to get into the round 2 draw, despite being down to 10 men for a long period. Stoke also 0-0 draw in the Championship against Cardiff. Good win there by Adebisi. Baker Richardson, we've not spoken much about him either, loses possession, but Crewe pick up the ball, and Thomas will have it. The Crewe start from just outside their own penalty area with Conor O'Riordan, who's dinking the ball up towards Nevitt, doesn't quite reach him, breaks down, quick release, ball in behind the defence, getting a second bite of the cherry. Derby trying to get it in behind the defence, that'll be a corner. They're making Crewe centre halves work hard.
Yeah, long leg of Conor O'Riordan just came out at the right time there to nick the ball away from Washington, but those balls from back to front are going to have to be better than what they've been so far. I mean, even when they hit the target, it's a job on for Baker Richardson and Nevitt to bring the ball down and find a teammate, but they've got to reach them, they've got to get there. They can't be easily read as they were a few moments ago, as O'Riordan's pass was a few moments ago, because the pressure just keeps coming back then.
13 minutes approaching the game gone as our referee has a word with a couple of players again in the 6-yard box. One of those was Luke Offord, the other being Connor Washington. The corner's on the right hand side. Mendes Lang, 2 arms raised, going to deliver a short one. There's space for a good crossover ball in. Hourihan Back stick got to be cleared. Not very good by Cooney. Don't know what he was doing. Just gives away a corner on the opposite side of the field.
There's a man after my own heart. Doesn't want to use his left foot. Just curled it out for a corner with his right foot rather than risk a catastrophe.
Hurahan's gone up on the opposite side of the field. This time the 6-yard box is a hive of activity, yet to take the corner. 0-0. And it goes now in that 6-yard box area. Ball back across, off the line, just about by Baker Richardson, and the goalkeeper gets it. And once again, it was a mistake. Bradley got the header in, and Courtney Baker Richardson was in a good position because the goal was at the Derby County players' mercy, and Crewe survived once again.
Well, we're nearly 14 minutes in. I feel like I've been here a week. Remember those first 90 seconds? They were brilliant, weren't they? Hey?
I said to you, it could do with a snowstorm. We need snowstorm, not a sunshine and the big rainbow. That's another thing that's appearing in the last 48 hours. No. There's rainbows everywhere.
With the highest scorers in the league, we've seen more rainbows than goals. It's been magical.
Well, I'm glad you like that. It's like that sight of the rainbow. It's a bit short though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's a Hobbit rainbow.
Lee Bell stands in his technical area. A lot of players short. 7 out in total. 4 big changes today from last week's win over Harrogate. Just a reminder, Crewe drawn and Derby, whichever gets through to play Bristol Rovers in the round 2 draw. You're missing on the action. The ball's out of play. Throw into Crewe, attacking the railway end of the ground, who, as Peter said, could have easily scored after 90 seconds but fluffed their opportunity. Derby, of course, big club, financial problems has put them in a lot of ruin over the years, but were once European Cup semi-finalists and one of the oldest clubs in the country, along with Stoke City, of course, 1888 when they were formed, as Nevitt takes a big, strong challenge for the number 5, Sonny Bradley, and then thought about it and then said, no, better move out of the way, I don't fancy arguing with him. Halfway line throw in, ball's gone flat. Fourth official said it's okay. White, good skill, get away from his man. Oh, poor pass. What a pass, should have been going to Billington, should be looking. Yep. Did terrific with his body work to find the space and then just...
Well, that's a real standard thing that they learn in the academy. We see lots of that, and he did it as good as any Crewe player has ever done it, but no point if you're then going to whack it away.
No, you're right. You learnt all them skills, didn't you, Pete? Still got some now.
I learnt them. I couldn't really reproduce them under any pressure, but I know how it's done.
Okay.
I know the theory, not the practical.
Crewe building from the goalkeeper Harvey Davis, who's made one fine double save. Cooney, better ball up to Courtney Baker Richardson. That's a lucky free kick to me.
It's so hard though, isn't it? Even when the ball hits the target, with Shiloh Tracy out of the team, it changes the dynamics completely for both sides. And you know that Derby in the dressing room would have said, well, look, they've got 2 centre forwards. They're both going to have to come to feet. So there's no real indecision in the defender's mind there. They're going to try and intercept. They're going to be right tight if they can't intercept. There's going to be lots and lots of pressure on Courtney Baker Richardson and Elliot Nevitt all the way through this game.
One thing I like about Paul Warren, the manager, is he's got a great array of selection of caps and hats. I think he wears a different one every match. So much so that I changed mine from the other night and I came in on Thursday to watch the UT and bought a new one myself today, but I haven't put it on because it's a nice afternoon, Pete, isn't it? Not the weather, being with you.
Well, that was interesting. So you've got a new hat.
Oh, Mendes Lang has done Dimitrio to the byline, pulls it back. Good interception there. Second phase won by Derby. Edge of the penalty area. Looking to play the ball to Nyamba. He's going to test Billington's defensive qualities to the byline, still holding it up. Looking for support, Mendes Lang into the penalty area it goes. Oh, that's a foul, referee. Foot up in the air. Good ball if he can get on the end of it, but he can't have it. And here come Derby again with Forsyth. Halfway line. Dominating the game as you'd expect, the League One side. 7th in the table, won 7, drawn 3, lost 5. The 4th high scorers with 25 goals. But Crewe know how to better that. They're the top scorers in the Football League with 35 goals. But it's 0-0 here. Dimitrio wanting offside, and he will get it this time. And Crewe have a free kick.
Well, the big problem that Crewe are finding wide is that the fullbacks, although it is a flat back four, it's more of a Liverpool back four where the full-backs have got licence to really start high, and that's almost the gap. They've got a tight three in midfield, they've got two central strikers, Crewe, they've got wing-backs, but they're being driven back a lot, so those two wide full-backs are able to receive the ball quite high up, create overloads, and particularly over on the Derby right, but both sides we've seen them get more space than Lee Bell will be comfortable with.
Yeah, talking of Lee Bell, well, 12 months ago, Peter, he took charge of his first game for Crewe, and as I said in my build-up, 90 minutes later he'd knocked Leyton Orient out of the FA Cup.
And that was an upset as well, wasn't it? Leyton Orient were flying high at the top of League Two at the time. So, we spoke with Phil in the build-up, didn't we, about the progress that has been made.
Adebisi, good play, but then he turned into trouble. Could break for Crewe. No, it doesn't. Derby picking up a good win back. And they've got possession of the ball. Good work by Crewe on the left-hand side. Billington, Adebisi involved in that. Now they've got space to build with going inside their own half. In fact, Dimitrio sent it back to his goalkeeper, Harvey Davies, who overhits it. But can Baker Richardson pick it up? No, he can't. Not having much joy at the moment. As you said, it's a hard job. He's asked to play up there on his own for the team. And Adebisi will pick up a loose ball, but being closed down. Billington turning it towards his own goal, calmly and confident, as well as Harvey Davies just find a good ball out, but again, not quite sharp enough getting the gather of the ball. Baker Richardson robbed by number 35 Curtis Nelson as Derby Bill, but White wins it back again to Nevitt. Now this is where Crewe have to be better. Nevitt just running into trouble, but then again that pass is given away. Build up looked okay, then quickly fizzled out. 0-0, 20 minutes approaching the game gone on BBC Radio Stoke with Peter Morse and myself, Graham McGarry.
You've just got to give the ball to someone who's better suited to having the ball in that position and get on his bike up to a more attacking position himself. He tried to do a little bit too much there, I think.
Crewe building now from right to left, right in front of the packed ice cream van stand of Derby fans. Lovely skill on the ball from Adebisi. Has to play a different role this afternoon as Crewe come out with the ball well on the right hand side to Cooney. Not the best of passes, but White tried his trick to go round very experienced Craig Forsyth, and Derby go from left to right to Nyambi, the 25-year-old former Blackburn Academy boy, once of Wigan of course. Tries to build. Mendes Lang switched his wings. Peter gone to the right. Barkhazen has come out to the left.
Yeah, so it's a 4-4-2, but really it's a 4-2-4 in possession, isn't it? So they've almost got four right across up against the Alex defence.
Good work by Cooney and White, but again the movement wasn't on the same wavelength, and Crewe give the ball and possession back.
He's not happy with Courtney Baker Richardson there, Lee Bell. I thought he should have been onto the centre half there, higher up the pitch, applying pressure.
Derby building centre midfield, got to get the right side of his man. Billington does really well again, a nice clearance, nice play, good play down the left hand side. Lovely play with Connor Thomas and Rio Adebisi to Courtney Baker Richardson, edge of the penalty. Can he do something now? Can he come in on his right foot and fire it towards goal? No, he can't. And it fizzled out, and promising, good build up, just not the right execution from the centre forward Baker Richardson.
I don't think he's got the zip to do that, Baker Richardson. In those situations, one-on-one, I just don't think he's got the pace to really create a good enough shooting position for himself. I think he's got to look to combine with teammates. I think when he's got a great shot on him, but I don't think that situation suits him.
Did you like the way they built up to get to Baker Richardson?
I think Rio started, apart from he should have done better in that first chance. I mean, anyone who's played in defence at any level will know that when you're used to having all the play in front of you, to suddenly have it 360 around you, and to have the awareness of who's coming behind you, where the space is, where the space isn't, where to take your first touch, it's really, really difficult, and he's showing excellent early signs that he's got a grasp of how to do that.
Well, they've survived a couple of scares, but the midway point of the first half, and manager Lee Bell will be well pleased with his makeshift side at the moment. Well, here come Derby again, up to the halfway line they go, quickly over the halfway line on the right hand side, looking to get to the byline again. The cross comes from right to left and goes out of play for a throw in to Crewe Alexandra from Mendes Lang. Derby, of course, with a few experienced players like Sir Joe Ward and James Collins, Kane Wilson on the bench for them, Tyrese Fornart. Paul Warne in his 64th game in charge. Lee Bell in his 53rd game in charge for Crewe. And we're waiting the throw in, taken and headed on by Nevitt. Ball again pumped in downfield. Nevitt trying to win the ball. The referee said there's no free kick. Play on. Derby have it. They've gone from left to right with the big number 24 for Ryan Amby. Slow, patient build up by Derby. Inside their own half of them out. And now they've got two men wide on the left hand side. They haven't used it yet, but now they are with Hourihane and Forsyth. Hourihane goes in field towards Barkhays and found space. Crewe have got every man back inside their own half, but they're blocked off. Derby with an interception by Rio Adebisi. You spotted something there, Peter?
Well, it's just the fullbacks. You know, Forsyth was so high in the build-up there. Almost going on to Cooney on in that situation, which is probably better, but this half position he's got now, Cooney can't go and mark him, and no one from the midfield can shuffle across, so he's free if Derby can get the ball to him. Yeah,
the danger man is lurking is Max Bird. Here come Derby on the right hand side, edge of the penalty area, cross into the penalty, good block. Crewe trying to build again quickly with Adebisi. Nice touch down the left hand side to Billington, who unfortunately couldn't find a red shirt. Probably the best option he had to clear his lines and Crewe to get in shape again. But yeah, Max Bird is a player, local boy, 144th appearance for Derby, 2 goals for him in the midweek, just finding a bit of space so that it allows Craig Forsyth to push on down this left hand side as well. Here comes Derby on the right hand side, right by the corner flag, side step. Mendes-Lang gets his cross in again. Battle for the ball, good defended by Cooney this time. Header over the top. Last time these two teams met in the FA Cup, Derby won 5 goals to 1 in 1985, but the more recent tie, Crewe won the Carabao Cup 1-0. Lee Bell was in the Crewe team that particular day, and quite a few players who have represented both clubs were involved. Sean Barker getting the only goal, home goal that sent Crewe through. I've got a little stat for you that'll test you out. You can have a guess as well in a minute. Good play by White, downfield. Baker Richards, now can he put him under pressure? No, he couldn't. Just couldn't nick the ball. Now then, there's a chance here. Onto it goes Adebisi into the penalty area, fires it. Good save. A real mistake, and he did well, Adebisi. And once again, there was a mistake by the Derby defence. And Adebisi in the 25th minute tested the gloves of the goalkeeper, Wildsmith.
Yeah, he did all right. He just couldn't quite wriggle free and shrug off the attentions.
Here come Derby into the penalty area. That's poor as well. Yeah, but again, Peter has showed even Derby, with all their wages and budgets, got players that make mistakes.
Well, they look like they can be got at. What Crewe are finding it hard to do is to get up the pitch, to give them a test on a regular enough basis. But when Crewe have got in and around the final third, the Derby don't look safe and sound by any stretch of the imagination.
Here's your test for you then. You know how you look at your stats and you see who's played for each club, represented both clubs. How many players do you think have represented Crewe and Derby?
It's a fair few, isn't it? Looking for a number.
Yeah, got to guess. Bowers can join in as well. Bowers he's nowhere near.
I'd say it'd be quite close to.
Quite close to what?
17.
At 10.
Really?
27 players have played for Crewe and Derby, and if you look at some of the names, wow, big.
Yeah, there's some big ones. There must be some ones that we definitely can't remember though.
Oh yeah, well I can. They were 1930s. Ball's gone out of play on the opposite side of where we are, with bright sunshine that the Derby fans are enjoying at the moment over there. Yeah, 27 players that include some real big names like Rob Hulse, Robbie Savage, Seth Johnson, the biggest all, James Bailey, Chris Porter, just reeling a few off for you. Paul Green, I'll stop in now. Derby building from inside their own half. They had 2 escapes, one in the 92nd period of the game and one just a moment or two ago, 25 minutes. Adebisi forced a fine save into Wildsmith after they'd lost possession of the ball. 28 minutes approaching the game. Dimitriou wins possession, reads it well, but then runs into trouble, unfortunately. Yeah, he likes that run forward. Now Crewe have got to get back in shape on the edge of the penalty area. That's where Derby have played the ball to Connor Washington on the right hand side, being held up by Connor O'Riordan. Good cross in from the far side, but Cooney's in a good position to head clear, but not distance. Poor header. Straight to a Derby player. On the right hand side is Nyambe. Going to run at Billington. Edge of the penalty area is Urahan. Nice slide ball pass, back heel. Looking to get the shot in. Thomas can't tackle. Good block in the end, but Derby have picked it up again. He's got a good left foot, Urahan, but he doesn't hit that particularly well. And the number 7, Barkhuizen, hits it even worse, but he gets a deflection for corner number 5.
2 good blocks by Lewis Billington in there, throwing himself in the way of the shots that were coming in, but Crewe just couldn't quite do enough to get the ball clear.
Short corner, got to be switched on. Looking to run at his man, Mendeslang into the penalty area goes now, on his left foot, sets it up, fired in, shot, wide of the target. Goalkeeper might have had his angles right, but he let it whistle past the left hand post. I wasn't quite sure, still 0-0.
Well, he didn't move Harvey Davis. I'm going to say I assume that was because he knew it was wide. It was nicely hit, the connection was good from Urahan, who can score goals, as we know, scored them at the highest level.
Crewe from the back, Baker Richardson and Nevitt trying to work it off together, but
that can't be right, can it? They both went for the same flick on there, or near enough. They've got to have a bit of communication. One of them is always going to be behind the other, so he can see what's going on, so they should be able to judge it better.
Derby, long ball behind the defence, and they found a good pass as well to Nyambe. Going to take on Billington. Billington holds him up. Another corner, corner number 6. Crewe yet to have a corner and 1 free kick. And again, it's on the right hand side. A cry of come on Derby from the good 2,000 Derby fans out here, I would think, trying to get that opening goal on this FA Cup first round tie. 0-0. Urahan take it right side, left footed. Hit with pace this time. Goalkeeper's all over the show, lost his bearings, wanted a free kick, didn't get it. Down in the penalty area he went, Peter. He was out of his goal, and there was never going to be a free kick, whether it was or not. He wasn't giving it.
No, he's not got his timings right on a couple of occasions, Harvey Davis. One thing I will say, if Crewe concede a goal from a free kick, then that will be disappointing. It's nothing to do with injuries or playing against a team from a higher league. That's just doing your jobs in the box.
So they've got Forsyth involved in the action now on this left hand side. Delivers a nice ball into the penalty area. Billington lets it go across to Mendeslang. Player goes down the penalty area. Mendeslang trying to set up from the edge of the penalty area to Urahan. 2 goals this season. Mendeslang got support from Nyambe to the byline, digs it up again. Crewe got to win the header. Dimitrio does, and Adebisi will clear his lines, but no distance. Didn't put his foot through the ball either. And Derby keeping the pressure on the man in behind the defence. Chance here, wayward and wide, and the best chance of the game. That Barkhuizen should have been hitting the target, screwed it wide, still 0-0.
Well, that should have been 1-0. It was a little bit of luck actually from all the good approach play and considered work that Derby have put together. That was just a hook over the shoulder, and suddenly Crewe were in. I don't think there was a lot of design behind that, but Barkhuizen could have really put the Rams in front. He was a little bit, a little bit more rushed than he had to be. Just swiped at it a little bit, never got the connection. Wasn't really close to being on target, but a great position. Good
strength by Baker Richardson. Put his centre half under pressure. That's what, not in a dangerous area, but the crowd appreciate his work rate there. But yeah, wasn't the greatest clearance from Rio Adebisi. Didn't get any distance on it. Came straight out to Barkhuizen, who missed the target. 31.5 minutes of the game gone. Still 0-0 on BBC Radio Stoke. We're live and through until 5 as Thomas plays a nice ball that Cooney can get on the end of it. Just over hit it, unfortunately. Spun off the fairly quick surface, and that will be a goal kick.
Well, I've gone past the half-hour mark, which is pleasing in itself, because there was a couple of periods early on where you thought this was a bit of worrying the way the game was going, but Crewe have defended manfully.
Yeah, and they've had a quick throw and Connor O'Riordan in that challenge. Good strength for him, but the Derby players wrestled the ball off him. Wide on this left-hand side, going back towards Barkhuizen. How to play, throwing. Good work by the young central defender.
Yeah, up for it. He knows it's a good spotlight for him.
Yeah.
Looks extra aggressive to me today, Connor O'Riordan.
Derby building with the big number 5, Sonny Bradley. Played good level at Plymouth and Luton. On the ball again, centre field. Wide on the left is Hourihane. They're all over the place, Hourihane and Barkhuizen and Mendes-Lang. They're the mainstay of the team. Max Bird has taken a different position now. He's gone more central on the ball at the moment. Slides it through, nice play. Here's a chance for Derby. Good work by Billington, but he's not got the ball clear yet to the byline, and he stops the cross. Another corner though. Corner count is corner number 7 for Derby. No corners for Crewe.
Well, he was just caught out of position initially then, Lewis Billington, but he showed real grit and determination to recover, twisting and turning to try and stay with his man. In the end, blocked the cross.
Hourihane to take again, right side, left footed. Allowed them to get a back header towards the 6-yard box. It's still bouncing around. Crewe haven't cleared it. Derby pick it up outside the penalty area on the right hand side. Mendes-Lang to Hourihane, coming in looking for a short ball. Mendes-Lang stays wide, doesn't take a touch, delivers the cross into the penalty area. Good header out Dimitrio. But again, Crewe got to try and win that second phase, and this time Baker Richardson helps out the team to clear the lines out for a throw in on the right hand side, where Derby attacking right to left in this last 15 minutes or so of the first half remaining.
Well, I like to whine about it at the other end, so for balance I'll just say that Conor O'Riordan had a hell of a lot of shirt in his hand in the last free kick.
Yeah, he did. There's Derby again, good defending in position this time, O'Riordan. Sonny Bradley and Curtis Nelson mop up the loose ball and get it back to goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith, who sprays it out on the right hand side to Hourihane, who hits long this time. Dimitrio is in position to head it, and Crewe can pick it up with Rio Adebisi, who's been very good in this first half. Lovely ball from Adebisi to Joe White. Nice skill from him, but taken over Thomas, gets it out on the right hand side to Ryan Cooney. Halfway line. Crewe patient build up. This time they're stopped with the attack. Cooney won't win that ball. It was always tight, and Derby pick it up.
It's tight, but it's even more easily read. Joe White just got he's got a lot of disguise, a lot of creative ability in his locker. He needs to use a bit more of it.
Derby down this left hand side with Forsyth. Nice ball into the penalty area. Got to stop the corner. Offered, didn't win the free kick. The referee was watching that. It wasn't a free kick to me either. I think he was obviously watching for it. Shot goes in. Good effort over the crossbar. I don't think it was a free kick. Right. I think Offord was falling down and the referee was having none of it. 0-0.
You're right. That was seriously unsubtle by the captain there. He had a big look at where the guy was, waited for the contact, hit the deck, and we're all watching him do that. So the referee, although still tempted, the easiest thing for the referee is to give the free kick. He was right. Offord tried to buy one there, and the referee wasn't coughing up.
Referee is from Lancashire, Scott Oldham. 43 yellows, 1 red this season. Crewe have lost possession coming out from the goal kick. They've got to keep possession for long periods, and they're not at the moment. Here's Derby in the Crewe penalty area, looking to break the deadlock before half time with Max Bird. Goes across the penalty area. Now they're wide on the right with Mendes-Lang. Gets the overlap. Mendes-Lang coming in field, looking for support. Doesn't know which way to try it yet, and Crewe do well, but then don't clear the lines. Billington is robbed. Nyambi picks it up, surely offside. He isn't. Shot goes in wayward, and poor play by Mendes-Lang that time. Crewe will be happy with it. Goal kick, and if they can go in at half time with that scoreboard pivot, they'll be well pleased. Lee Bell and his players and his management team at 0-0.
Yeah, a long way to go before they get to that mark though, and I think they're going to have to improve between now and then to get there. The opportunities to keep and build possession are few and far between, but when they are arriving, they're being spurned by some pretty sloppy work a little bit higher up the pitch. What Crewe are doing well is defending, packing the areas out. Derby trying to pick their way through, but the space isn't really there.
The unfortunate part about the FA Cup, Pete, there's still replays first of all, no straight to penalty shootouts, and then if there's a replay there's extra time and penalty shootouts. But as you say, here's Derby again, edge of the penalty area, good football, couldn't hit the target, Max Bird, and fired it over the crossbar, but quick passing, incisive passing, and Bird's left foot shot whistled over Harvey Davis's crossbar for a goal kick.
We got 2 in midweek against Northampton, didn't he, Max Bird, and Must have fancied himself to add to his tally there, but never really. That's a foul. He's missed one there, the referee. Clear one, pushing the back of Courtney Baker-Richardson. Don't know what's going on there.
Well, the fans are saying get up. Sonny Bradley's a very experienced player saying you use your elbow on me. The referee hasn't spotted it. The captain's having a word with the referee. That's the Derby captain. And
well, Sonny Bradley wants to not push the striker in the back. Then maybe he's, your arms can. If he's saying he's got caught in the face by Baker-Richardson, well, he's knocked him off balance by fouling him. The referee missed it, and now he's doing a drop ball.
Whose ball was it?
I think Derby were in possession, weren't they?
It definitely wasn't Sonny Bradley's ball. He's going to get on the end of it. He's still talking to the referee, Scott Oldham. Conor Horan, the captain, was quickly in on Scott Oldham, the referee. We're on the way. And Crewe need to switch on instead of talking. 0-0. Boos for Bradley, but it won't bother him. The very experienced central defender. Offered. Bouncing ball.
How do you know he might really dislike Boos?
Oh, good challenge by Baker-Richardson. Now then, they're on the right hand side. Baker-Richardson's pulled back, but the referee said play on. Nevitt to the byline. Great defending. It got a bit heated there in that last attack. One or two players having a bit of a off the ball go at each other. Goal kick.
Well, Courtney Baker-Richardson won't mind that sort of physical confrontation. In fact, it might fire him up.
Bradley's just lost his little composure there on Nevitt again as they get ready for the goal kick. What happens for the pies, Pete, if we don't use them today? I don't know whether we'll cope for the next game. We're at home next Saturday. We have to have two.
Doesn't work like that. Tiny violins out from Phil Bowers.
No, he's enjoyed his. He's still got half of it round his lips. He's rubbing it in even more. Derby building, left hand side. 0-0. Ball out of play, throw in to Derby, midway inside the Crewe half. Hourahan thought about the long ball, but slides it up. Now it should have gone out to the right hand side, but they've come back on this left hand side. Hourahan, nice passing move, but once again they give it away as O'Riordan will go over the. I thought he was going to go over the halfway line, but he's decided not to. As White loses it easily, but O'Riordan's helped him out. Slides the ball through to Adebisi. Tight but good play between Adebisi, O'Riordan and Thomas, who gets it out on the left hand side. Can't get Billington up quick enough yet, but now he's there to support. What can he produce? Nice ball into Adebisi again. Into the penalty area. Good looking ball. Should be 1-0 for Crewe Alexandra. Terrific ball from Adebisi. And Courtney Baker-Richardson. Bully's header inside the 6-yard box. And could there be a cup upset on in South Cheshire? League 2 side Crewe 1. League 1 side Derby 0. Baker-Richardson scores his 7th goal of the season.
Well, I'd like to say I saw that coming, but I didn't really. It didn't look like Crewe could get up the pitch often enough to cause a threat. So that was a really good bit of play. Right from the start, when Billington carried the ball over the halfway line after receiving the switch from Connor Thomas. He waited, he got the shout from Mickey Demetrio. The combination was there. The cross from Rio Adebisi was magnificent, and the finish was made to look a lot easier than it was. I don't know whether he caught it on the volley or the half volley, but he got in there. He rammed it in the back of the net, and Crewe hit the front.
I couldn't see what was happening, because once he saw the ball come in from Adebisi, it was header in the end, I think, from Rio's cross. It was everything was, the stand went up because the ball was that good that they all wanted to touch and get it on the end of it. But in the end, they're terrific. And he's hit it with his foot. I couldn't get a view. I thought it was his head, but his right foot. And you must be psychic as well. You said it might just liven him up a little bit and up and settle the Derby defenders, Courtney Baker-Richardson's involvement. And it certainly has. They've got to see it out now, pitting towards half-time. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, well, Sonny Bradley, he should have known better, really, because sometimes you can think that Courtney Baker-Richardson doesn't put himself about as much as he can. The size and stature of him. There's times you can think that, but if you get on the wrong side of him, then you know that he's going to get up for that. And he bust a gut to get in there in the middle. He's been fouled there. The referee's not bothering, but where Bradley and his teammates were, I'm not too sure. That's 2 occasions where they've gone AWOL and 1 occasion where Crewe have punished them.
Ball goes all the way through to Harvey Davis. But it was outstanding move, Peter. Connor Thomas, Lewis Billington, Rio Adebisi finished off at the other end inside the 6-yard box, off his right foot. He was crouching down, but the boot did the job. Crewe 1, Derby 0, edging towards half-time with around about 90 seconds and no real stoppage time, I don't think, in the first half, although we will have something, I guess. But Crewe's makeshift side have grabbed the lead here at the Mornflake Stadium.
Must be that Bristol Rovers tie that's inspiring the players. What a carrot.
Ball forward. Dimitrio don't win it, but the second one he will, and he's on the run forward. Doesn't need to go too far, but he needs always work at the back. Ball forward, under pressure, Nelson has it, calmly does it and keeps possession. Boos to Bradley. Derby out on the left hand side, they've got 2 players out of position there, Nevitt and White. The manager quickly spotted that. Getting ready for the stoppage time as Derby build behind the defence. They've gone, they're going to keep the ball in as well. The cross is coming in, danger here, got to win the header, good flicked header, but there's a chance for Bird to strike with a poor strike, cleared by Offord, picked up on the edge of the penalty area by Nyambi. Stoppage time looming, into the penalty area they go, looking to get an equaliser. Crewe got to stay strong. Cross not yet coming in. Edge of the penalty area, Urahan has it. Ball in, good defending Dimitrio. Zero time, I don't understand that one, Pete, what's that one? White, through to Nevitt, can Crewe get a second? Nevitt, right foot, strike, good save. Really good football from the League 2 side. Stoppage time is looming, and we're on it, and Crewe are breaking fast for a second goal. And the home fans are really up for it, but Derby are also looking to get an equalising goal. Good gloves by Davis, and that should be end what has just really lifted up, Peter, to a lively end to the first half. Crewe in the lead.
Yeah, nice and strong there, wasn't he, Joe White, under a lot of pressure, carried the ball 20-25 yards down the pitch and then fed in Elliot Nevitt, who knew he only had 2 touches before he was caught. 1 to control, nicely set up, strike was decent, just not quite enough to beat Joe Wildsmith from that angle.
He only had 1 minute of stoppage time, so the clock, the clock says 6 seconds to go, and we should be up at half time. Live second half commentary to come on BBC Radio Stoke, as Crewe Alexandra's home fans are delighted with their end to the first half. The Derby fans are looking depressed around the 2 sides of the ground. But at the moment there's still words being said with Sonny Bradley and Courtney Baker-Richardson. What Baker-Richardson needs to do is come out of it, don't get involved, because he's got the limelight at the moment. His goal late in the first half divides the 2 teams here and set up a nice second half commentary to come on BBC Radio Stoke. Phil, half time, Crewe 1, Derby 0.
Well, we didn't see it coming, let's be perfectly honest with you. It's been a well contested first half here. Crewe have played some nice football, but Derby have had the clearer cut chances, and definitely the Harvey Davis has been the busier goalkeeper of the 2. But then all of a sudden it changes, and Rio Adebisi really is the architect of what was being done well, and he had a couple of chances and then created Courtney Baker-Richardson's goal just before half-time, Pete Morse, and there's some more afters as the players head into the tunnel, and the referee as well is getting a bit of a barracking, I think, from some of the Derby County coaching staff as well. But Pete, as you look back on that first half, you really have to look at it and say Crewe have had to weather a storm, but when the real first opportunity that they had came their way, they took it.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that you know, we said in the commentary halfway through that Derby can be got at. They're absolutely nowhere to be seen in the first 90 seconds. Crewe really should have hit the front then, but never actually forged a chance at goal from it. As you say, Adebisi's had a decent strike, Nevitt's had a decent strike on target, and of course they've got a brilliant goal, a really good team goal, switch of the play from right to left, a combination down that side, a brilliant cross, and a super finish from Courtney Baker-Richardson. And while at the other end it's been it's been territorial domination from Derby, the opportunities they forged, they've not really done well enough with. Courtney Baker-Richardson's hooked one off the line, so nobody's pretending that Derby haven't been well on top, but actually Crewe have created a couple of decent chances on the counter-attack, and they'll remain dangerous in the second half as well. So whereas Derby, as the clock goes on, they'll have to commit more and more forward. You wouldn't actually rule Crewe out scoring another goal, but of course it'll be a clean sheet that's difficult but a priority to keep.
Adebisi's really been at the heart of most of the good attacking play, really. He's had to do his job at the other end, and he's helped out Lewis Billington where he has, who I think stuck to his task pretty well against Mendes-Lang. But Adebisi really has been, ironically, the best attacking outlet that they've got, because he's managed to carry the ball up the pitch the most.
Yeah, and he has been one of Crewe's best attackers this season, but just from fullback or wing-back. The improvement in a player, you rarely see how much. Rio Adebisi's come on in the last, I wouldn't even call it 12 months, I'd call it sort of 6 months of football. Borderline unrecognisable. He really is a big player for Crewe now, attacking and defending, and hopefully can help Lewis Billington. In fact, ironically, I think Rio's debut was against Aston Villa in the League Cup. Obviously played some really top players in that game and ended up against Jack Grealish, so Lewis Billington not quite to that sort of level, but he's having a real test on a big day for him against Mendes-Lang, and as you're saying, he's sticking with it. It's not easy, he's not having it all his own way, but he's certainly not wilting, and Crewe still have their clean sheet.
Baker-Richardson did when that chance presented itself to him. He hasn't had a great deal of chances today, but he does what you want your centre forward to do. He gets on the end of something, and it was in a really awkward spot for the keeper as well. He couldn't really commit himself to. What surprised me is that Derby defence was really static, and he just ran in between and got on the end of it. That's just natural instinct that he's got.
Yeah, I think he made it look a lot easier than it was. I think, you see the cross, and straight away, as Graham said in commentary, you can see the quality of the cross by the fact everyone stands up straight away, and there's actually quite a long time to wait for the ball. So you're right, his instinct is to run in, but actually there's quite a bit of thinking time between the ball leaving Adebisi's foot and it arriving on Courtney Baker-Richardson's right foot. Things can go wrong when you end up thinking and deciding how to deal with it, and he dealt with it one touch, and the connection was super, and really the goalkeeper was never going to stand a chance once that connection was made.
We should expect a renewed attacking presence from Derby, because like you say, they will get desperate, but they've got quality in there. And maybe the surprising thing is they haven't really had a lot of cutting edge, because they've had a lot of the ball around the final third. Bird and Mendes-Lang and Barkhuizen's had a couple of good opportunities, but they've really lacked someone to finish those off. I've looked on the bench, they've got James Collins on there who could come on and make a big difference as well. Joe Ward's capable as well, so they've got players on the bench who can come on and hurt you. That's something Crewe have got to be wary of.
Yeah, Crewe aren't really even halfway there. There's such a lot of work to do in this game, and if I was in the Derby dressing room, I wouldn't be panicked, because you know that they're going to get chances, you know that they're going to boss the ball, and it's down to them really. You've got to give Crewe a lot of credit for the way that they've defended collectively. They've really got themselves together. I think Connor Thomas has been good on his return. I think he's been important screen for that defence. So Derby should really come out pretty calmly, pretty patiently, knowing that they'll have the opportunity to turn this game round. But as long as the clock keeps ticking down and Crewe keep that clean sheet, their confidence will grow.
Have to mention as well, before we just break for half time and the scores and some of the other news, Graham, that stat, what was it, 27 players have played for Derby and Crewe together. That's a stat. Where did you find that out?
I counted them up.
Well, I know that, but
it was on social media, so I looked at it, and when I saw so many, I thought, that looks a big list.
Yeah.
So then I'm counting up, and there's 27. You go back obviously to the 1930s when they first played. We haven't played each other a lot, but it's about where the players have moved. John Brayford and James Bailey went together. Rob Olsey's been there, Robbie Savage has been there, Seth Johnson's been there, Paul Green's been here, Chris Porter's been here. It's incredible. There's one or two that I thought, I'm not quite sure about those, and I'll have to have a look and then give it to Mr. Morse and say, yeah, he did play for Derby and Crewe. There's two in particular that stood out. I should remember them, but I'll get onto it in a minute and find out who the two were that I thought, They both played for Crewe and Derby.
It's a great story when you can't remember the name.
I know.
This
is like if The Empire Strikes Back and the ending where Darth Vader says he's Luke Skywalker's father. It just lacks something here. Graham, listen. We'll let you find that out for the remainder of half-time. We'll go through some of the other half-time scores and latest scores from around the country, because there is some other football going on today as well. In the Premier League, there are 2 games this afternoon. About a quarter of an hour left to go at the City Ground, where it's Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 0. A goal there from Ola Aina and Mangala with the goals there just after half-time, but Forest look like they are going to ease to victory in that one. There's been a game in the Championship. This was an earlier kick-off today. Norwich City 1, Blackburn Rovers 3. That's how that finished. In the FA Cup, there was one shock earlier on. Chesterfield of the National League beating League One leaders Portsmouth by a goal to 0 in the early kick-off of this earlier on today. Looked like there might have been an upset on the cards at Agborough. However, after Kidderminster Harriers took the lead in their game with League One Fleetwood Town, Fleetwood have scored twice in the latter stages of the first half and the early stages of the second to lead by 2-1 there. Grimsby as well, away at Slough Town. They were a goal down after just about half an hour as well, Grimsby, but they've equalised with a quarter of an hour left to go there. And of course, as we know, half-time here at the Alexandra Stadium, it's Crewe 1, Derby County 0. The other game in the FA Cup is a later kick-off tonight, and that will be Charlton Athletic hosting non-league side Cray Valley Paper Mills. If you missed it, by the way, earlier on, the draw for the second round has already been made. Both Crewe in the hat, Port Vale in the hat as well. They know who they will be playing. If Port Vale get past their replay with Burton Albion a week on Tuesday, they will head to Stevenage in the second round of the FA Cup. And the reward for Crewe, if they manage to beat Derby today, is a home tie against League One side Bristol Rovers. We'll have more on yesterday's games and some more of the day's sports news next.
News.
Stuart George.
A new study suggests the number of people taking a strong interest in current affairs has dropped.
We've had a lot of fairly rotten news in the past few years, and I think people get a bit overwhelmed by it all. It's just making them feel a bit anxious.
Is there such a thing, though, as taking too little interest?
Yeah, perhaps turning from only a news station to a station that's got a bit of music as well is probably a good balance.
So to put some words in your mouth, listening to BBC Radio Stoke is probably the right balance for their mental well-being.
I think you've probably got that spot on, absolutely right.
Stuart George.
She can come again.
Weekday mornings from 10.
BBC Radio Stoke. The only station with full commentary of Stoke, Vale and Crewe.
BBC Radio Stoke.
It's about 20 to 4 on a Sunday afternoon. If you're wondering where your normal programming is on BBC Radio Stoke, then we are in the midst of a Sunday football special here. Crewe Alexandra 1, Derby County 0 in the first round of the FA Cup. We are here till 5 o'clock this evening. We will bring you the second half live, and we'll have a very brief praise and grumble as well after the game too, if Crewe manage to make it through to the second round of the FA Cup. They look in a good place at the moment. We had more football yesterday on BBC Radio Stoke. 2 of our local sides in action in the Championship. Stoke took on Cardiff at the Bet365. That game ended in a 0-0 draw, and after the match, BBC Radio Stoke's Sohail Sahi spoke to Stoke's manager Alex Neil.
I thought first half, I thought we were better. I thought we moved the ball better. I thought we were the most expansive team. I thought we created a couple of good opportunities in the game. I think if we do take one of them, I think the game changes for us. Cardiff are a hard team to break down. You know, they've been in the top 6 for a reason. I don't think they're the type of team that's going to get the ball down and play through you and damage you. But I think that if you give too many slack passes away, I think if you don't compete well enough, you don't match runners, it's going to be a difficult afternoon. But I thought first half we probably should have been leading. We didn't, because we didn't take an opportunity. But I thought throughout the whole game, I thought we needed to move the ball a bit better than what we did today. You know, second half in particular, I didn't think we moved the ball well enough.
Is that why you were frustrated? I've watched you quite carefully towards the end of the first half. You're frustrated, and I know it's just one incident, but you threw a water bottle down. First time I've seen you do that this season. Yeah,
I just thought the passing sequences that we spoke about and worked on, I thought they were on at times. I just didn't think that we executed them as well as we can. But that's going to happen. You know, you're going to get days like that. And I think even towards the end, what summed it up, I think there was one, their centre-back and their centre-back are off the pitch, so they've only got one centre-back in there. We've got Wesley in there against them, and I think we've got a ball on the right-hand side, and all we need to do is put a good cross into the box, let Wes attack it, and we hit the first man. You know, and I thought that sort of really typified their second half. You know, I thought didn't use the ball well enough, didn't move it quick enough, took too many touches at times, selected the wrong option. So yeah, it was one of the games. I thought a point was a fair result.
Similar story for Port Vale. They were held to a 0-0 draw at home with Burton in the first round of the FA Cup at Vale Park yesterday. Vale, though, reduced to 10 men early on in the game after defender Nathan Smith was shown a straight red card for a late challenge. Afterwards, I spoke to the Vale manager, Andy Crosby.
I can't tell you how proud I am of the group, the togetherness of the group. We were the better team with 11 men. We were the better team with 10 men. We were the better team with 9 men. We controlled possession, we controlled them out of possession, we controlled them with 10 men, and we controlled the possession with 10 men. And I can't tell you how together this group is, how much they care, how disappointed they've been with the run we've been on, but to go into that game and start the way we did and have the chances we did, and then to suffer the disappointment we did with the referee making a decision, to not feel sorry for ourselves, to keep going, and they crawl off that pitch in a better place than when the game started.
Andy Crosby there after Port Vale's 0-0 draw with Burton in the first round of the FA Cup. They will go to a replay that is due to be played on Tuesday, the 14th of November, so a week on Tuesday. And the reward for getting through, if they were to beat Burton Albion, will be a wonderful trip to Stevenage in the second round of the Cup after the draw was made at around 2:30 this afternoon. Crewe, meanwhile, will face Bristol Rovers here if they hold on to this 1-goal lead against Derby County. Elsewhere, some of the other ties that have come up, Scarborough, if they get past Forest Green, will go to League One side Blackpool. Wrexham are at home to Yeovil. This one probably is the tie of the round in terms of a potential upset. Eastleigh of the National League will take on Reading. Notts County against Shrewsbury should attract a big crowd as well. And Aldershot's reward for knocking out Swindon by 7-4 is a home tie with Stockport County. So there are some big games there, and Chester or York will face one of the highest ranked teams left in the competition in Wigan. Barnsley, if they get past Horsham, will go to Sutton United. So you're up to date with where the FA Cup lies and what could lie in store for Crewe if they hang on to this 1-0 lead throughout the second half. The players are back out onto the pitch here at the Alexandra Stadium. Crewe 45 minutes away from a place in the second round of the FA Cup. To take you through to full time, your commentary team here on BBC Radio Stoke of Pete Morse and Graham McGarry.
Thanks, Phil. I thought you said 4 to 5 minutes away from round 2, but you said 45 minutes.
Not quite, yeah.
Well, full credit to Lee Bell, his players and his staff. They started out as underdogs. They've been hit heavy with injuries. They've worked the game plan. They've managed to survive a few little problems, but they've also had their own occasions as well where they've had Derby on the back foot, and they scored a fine goal, well made, well taken by Courtney Baker-Richardson. And just before half time, they were probably close to a second, but Nevitt just couldn't beat the goalkeeper, Joe Wildsmith, with his shot. No changes made by either manager as we get ready for the second half. It will be Derby who kick off. They will attack left to right in the second half, and a full away following will be wanting more from Paul Warren's side, as our referee Scott Oldham makes sure everything is okay and in place, waiting for the signal to get the game underway. And we are underway. Crewe lead by 1-0 on FA Cup first round weekend on Bonfire Night tonight, Sunday the 5th of November, 2:45 kick-off, hence why we're into the second half now. There's been a few occasions where Crewe have switched off in the early stages of the halves, Peter. They can't afford to do that today. That's another good win of the ball by Adebisi. Not a very good ball by Dimitriou, but they've got to be switched on right from the outset of the game.
Yeah, well, you suspect that. I don't know, how would Paul Warren handle that half-time team talk? I was going to say they probably got a rocket, but I'm not sure they would have done. They've bossed the game. But from our perspective toward the Radio Derby,
commentary team, they're saying that's a bit similar to what Derby have been doing, being on top of games but don't score goals.
They scored 4 in midweek, so they must have it somewhere.
Anyway, they're out on the left-hand side in their dark blue top, black shorts, black stockings. Crewe don't win possession. They've caught out the central defender Luke Offord there. He usually wins every challenge he goes for, but the ball's on the edge of the penalty area. Crewe have got to work it hard. That's great defending by Conor O'Riordan. Didn't give away the corner, under pressure going back towards his own goal. Throw in the first half, of course. Corner count was very high for Derby County. In fact, 7 corners in the first half. The ball's behind the defence. They looked offside to me, but it's out of play. And still, it's a sunny Sunday afternoon here at the Mornflake Stadium. Crewe with Harvey Davis in goal, Ryan Cooney, Lewis Billington, Conor O'Riordan, Luke Offord and Mickey Dimitrio, Joe White, Connor Thomas, Rio Adebisi, Elliot Nevitt and the goal scorer Courtney Baker-Richardson. Crewe down to the bare bones in numbers. Only have Tom Booth, Charlie Colcott, Aaron Rowe, Callum Agus, Lewis Nolan, Nathan Robinson, those last 3 from the youth team on the bench. You can name 9, Crewe have only named 6. Adebisi goes past his man, wants it on the left hand side, does Billington. Joining in. Good post play by him, gets it back to Dimitrio, does like a foray forward, but he goes across that goal sometimes, doesn't he? Across that pitch sometimes, and causes a few problems. Good body work again, that's what White shows.
Well, that's a second brilliant bit of play from him in a few moments.
Here's Cooney on the right hand side. White joining in. Thomas wants it. He's got it. Slides it behind. Over here. Worst passes made this afternoon. Connor Thomas. Good run by Baker Richards. Should have actually found him. Goal kick.
Yeah, you could see it was overhit the minute it left its boot, but I said to Phil at half time, I think he's been impressive. Connor Thomas on his return. Not too many mistakes from him at all. He's actually quite high up the pitch at the minute. He's the highest of the 3 midfielders, getting right onto Hourihan.
Conor in, pumps the ball downfield, looked offside, mean of it, but making them play the ball, Derby, and they've got it back to the goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith, former Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. Free header this time by Offord.
You'd like to see him bring that down, wouldn't you? It was the freest of free headers.
O'Riordan just tried to stop possession, but Derby picked it up on their left hand side, running it towards the edge of the penalty area to Mendes Lang, getting support on the left hand side from Forsyth, but Mendes Lang puts it into the 6-yard box, plays a 1-2 Forsyth. Here's a shot from edge of the penalty area, weak, and it could have been offside, but it could have gone out on this near side for a throw in. Wasn't a very good shot and didn't deserve anything else other than a throw in, but it got a deflection for that, and Derby take it quickly on this right hand side to Barkhazen, who've missed the best chance for me in the first half for Derby. Ball whipped in the penalty area out for a goal kick, and Crewe will just take the time, no rush, but the one thing we've got to worry about is time wasting from our referee Scott Oldham. One thing is, I think we have sorted out, Peter, any yellow cards today doesn't mean they add up into the league positions. Oh, poor play. They've got away with that. They were very, very lucky, like Derby were early in the first half. Offord didn't read the situation well, and Crewe have given the ball away, and Harvey Davis is leaving his goal and clears his lines. Finds a good ball as well. But Derby are searching quickly for the equaliser on this right hand side. Ball behind the defence, into the penalty area it goes. Good stop. Now this is where Crewe have to be good. Brought out by Nevitt, but nowhere for him to go. It all looks a bit scrappy, people. They've got away with it.
Well, one thing Crewe don't need to do is make life hard for themselves. They've got a big enough job on anyway against a League One side. Looked like a foul on Baker Richardson, but it's not been given. Hey up.
It's a Crewe ball.
Well, they don't agree, the assistant and the referee, that's for sure.
Well, it's got to be a Crewe ball if the referee's saying that way. Now he's on the microphone. Throw in. You said that way, now he's changed his mind.
Wow.
Can you do that?
I
don't know whether he can do that, you know.
He's a shambles.
But anyway, he's put Derby on the attack now. They've gone from right to left. Could be a big talking point in the game. Mendes Lang going in the penalty area, looking to get the shot in, fires it in, and again it hit the body of a Crewe player. Derby fans are happy with that, but Lee Bell's far from happy with that decision that the referee made, and he's having a word with the assistant manager of Derby and the fourth official, but the play continues and Derby give the ball away again. Poor play, but Crewe are not getting out of a defending area. Now they have another BC's picked up on the right hand side, and he picks up a loose ball. They don't look the best of the central defenders. Ball pumped forward, Nevitt looks offside, but the referee's allowed play to go on. He takes it off Sonny Bradley. Good hold up play by Nevitt. Can he keep the ball? He can. White coming in off the right hand side. Can he find a production? Good ball. Hit it, Connor Thomas. Hit it, fire again. Oh, what a save. Great ball from Joe White. How clever was that when he lobbed it over him? And White fired it in off the knees, I think, of the goalkeeper, Wildsmith. First corner of the game. Could have been 2-0.
Could have been. It was going to be difficult from that angle, but it's great play. Good running off the ball from Nevitt. Just about stayed onside. Waited for support. Joe White started the second half really well. Looked a real top talent, the way he's controlling things in midfield.
Corner left-hand side. Right-hand side, left-footed, sorry. White will take it. First corner of the game for Crewe. Dimitriou heads it back in the 6-yard box. Oh, he couldn't overhead kick it. Baker Richardson, that's what his aim was, and it got behind for the goal kick.
He was worried about his tight hamstrings there, I think.
I was just saying, Peter, that the likes of Nelson and Bradley do give you an opportunity, don't they?
Yeah, well, like I say, I've said that all the way through the game. It's just that how often can Crewe get at them? How many questions can they ask?
I just thought about the other throw-in that was happening down here. It took ages, the referee, waited for the assistant, they weren't sure. He didn't point anywhere. The flag went up, so he gave it to Crewe.
Yeah, 1-1.
You're on BBC Radio Stoke. A very good Sunday afternoon to you. We're live at the Moorflake Stadium as Crewe were trying to build, and we've just seen that opportunity on the monitor as White chipped the ball over. In he went, Thomas hit it on the volley, and it was going in, and the goalkeeper made a fine save. He really hit it. Scored 1 goal this season, Connor Thomas. Derby building on this right hand side. It's livened up since Crewe got in front. They're not offside there. They can continue Derby. Looking for the ball to come back to the right hand side. Header over the crossbar. No flag went up. They're fuming, Crewe. What a miss there from Mendes Lang then, Peter, if he wasn't offside.
Well, the Alex defence certainly felt that it was hard for us to see from here, but Mendes Lang will know that he should just stick the ball in the back of the net and ask questions later. Big opportunity for Derby, big opportunity at the other end for Crewe as well. Second half entertaining already.
Yeah, both sides have gone close to a goal. White, fine ball on the volley, but Baker Richardson won the battle, slides it through to Nevitt, edge of the penalty area. Nevitt, left foot strike, Nevitt, goal! Crewe Alexandra in dreamland. The two centre forwards, Courtney Baker Richardson and Elliot Nevitt combined, and his left foot shot goes in off the left hand post, and Nevitt still scoring goals. It's his 6th of the season, and round 2 could be getting closer for Crewe. Crewe 2, Derby 0.
Well, ever since that incident towards the end of the first half, Courtney Baker Richardson's absolutely bullied Bradley, and he did it again there. The ball was there for either of them to win. He got his body there, and then Nevitt was already running, already rushing through. He allowed his strike partner to take the ball on, and didn't he just? Opened his body out, dragged it to his left foot. The finish was perfect, the angle was difficult, but in off the far post, and Crewe, you know, they've scored goals all season. Whatever the games look like, whatever the tone and the flow of the opposition has been, and they've found 2 already today.
37 goals this season for Crewe Alexandra. 2 priceless ones at the moment. The centre forwards have done the business, Nevitt and Courtney Baker Richardson, but it's still a long way to go, because the talk from Paul Ward and his assistant now, Richie Barker, will they make changes? How do they get back in the game? Crewe haven't got a lot of options, of course, to change, but Derby, Luke Radford, this is a brilliant goal with his left foot in off the left hand post into the back of the net. The goalkeeper wasn't happy, but great build-up play. Baker Richardson is a different man, Peter, when he is upset.
Yeah, and he stayed upset, which is good. There's a goal and assist for him.
Connor Thomas slides it out on this left hand side to Adebisi. They're stretched again, Derby. Crewe looking for a third. been outstanding, Rio Adebisi, this afternoon. What a great all-round team performance. Lee Bell might have been coming into this game a little bit concerned, or possibly was concerned with what he got, but he knew that his first 11 could hold their own.
Well, Mickey Demetrio just lost his touch there, but was able to recover with a sliding challenge.
On the right hand side, Derby build, they're 2-0 down the League One side. Conor Horan, 30 yards from goal, digs it into the penalty area, got to win that header. They've good headed out for Crewe by a Derby player.
Well, the Derby fans are on the feet.
Added pressure on the manager.
Well,
I knew they won a 4-0 on Tuesday, but they're not happy with where they are, 7th in the table.
He hasn't taken any chances though. He hasn't shown any disrespect, has he? He's named the same team that has shown some form.
Ball on the right hand side, throw into Crewe. It's Baker Richardson trying to unsettle the defence again. Crewe lead by 2-0. Offered, wanted a free kick, didn't get it. Ball pumped forward. Picked up by White, who's been instrumental in a lot of good things in the midfield, but so have all the Crewe departments. It's been hard work for Lewis Billington at times, but full credit to him. He's under pressure now, coming in field, looking to get the shot in, fired in. And again, in a good position, Harvey Davies, who for me is growing by the week. Clean sheet last week at Harrogate, wanting one now in his first ever FA Cup involvement. Crewe lead 2-0, approaching the hour mark on BBC Radio Stoke. 0800 121 8080 for a quick praise and grumble was the final whistles have blown here with Phil Bowers, of course. All the reaction to come in the breakfast programme tomorrow from the weekend's football involving Crewe, Vale and Stoke.
I'll tell you what else is interesting. It's not really something that they've used or thought of too much, playing the two number 9s up front together, but seems to be working okay, doesn't it? There's a good bit of understanding for that second Crewe goal, and they got out of each other's way nicely. There's been a couple of teething problems, gone for the same flick on a couple of times in the first half, but they're a handful together, there's no doubt about that, and Derby aren't enjoying the afternoon in the defence.
Offered down the right hand side, coming out centre field. Can Nevitt win the ball? Yes, he can. Good work, Adebisi, lively onto the loose ball. Billington's on a run forward, joining in, growing in confidence, the youngster. Delivers a high ball. Can Baker Richardson win the header? No, he can't, unfortunately. Derby picking up midway inside their own half. Got to defend Demetrio. It's on this right hand side with Barkazan. Oops, not good enough. Good enough by Demetrio, was it? No, not stopped yet. Looking for the pull back, looking for the shot. Weak. Still Derby in the Crewe penalty area. Nyambi has it. Wide on the right is Barkazan. Doesn't deliver yet, just outside the penalty area. Back to Nyambi. Into the penalty area it goes. Header out well by Demetrio. Derby just, as you'd expect, asking a few questions. Ball pumped across the face of the goal. All the way out for the goal kick, and Lee Bell turns away. Nice and calm. It's not calm in the technical area, I can tell you, of Derby County. Their side are under pressure now, 2-0 down. They reached the 4th round last season when they lost to West Ham by 2-0. With the ball flat.
I'm not sure. I thought the referee was going to tell Harvey Davies to get on with it, but I don't know whether there is a problem with the ball. I think the referee's going to swap it. I don't know why it's taking so long.
What's happened?
No idea. He's restarted the game in a strange way. I don't know why it was necessary.
Oh, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's with Harvey Davison in his all yellow goalkeeping attire. Hits it right-footed downfield. Crewe lead from a late first half goal from Courtney Baker Richardson, second added by his strike partner Elliot Nevitt. Getting ready for changes, I think, Derby. There's plenty of talk from their managerial staff. Crewe out in the first round. Lost in the first round last year to Barnsley. Here come Offord, who's been outstanding with his defending to win the ball, to Thomas, who's been excellent. Connor Thomas on his return. Ball falls to Billington. Chips the ball forward. Nevitt, a willing runner, off his chest delightfully. Down this left-hand side they go. Nevitt is asked to go. He didn't fancy it, the number 5. Nevitt hits it. Ooh, throw your head in, Rio. Just throw your head in. If it hits you, you might be on the goal scoring chart. As it was, it fired wide and out for a goal kick.
I think we're probably just travelling a bit fast for him to adjust. Rio Adebisi, well, he's got covered some yards, hasn't he? Keeps getting in the box.
Thriving on it. First time he's been this forward for a long period of the game. Good toe there by Crewe. Ball breaks though for Derby, centre midfield on this right hand side to Ryan Nyambe, past the hour mark. Nyambe sees the ball going down the right hand side to Bark Hazen. Mendes Lang, 30 yards from goal to Horahan, centre field inside the Crewe half. On the byline is Nyambe, but there's nowhere to go, but they're keeping the little ball behind the defence. They've switched off. Chance here, shot towards goal, weak shot. Crewe were just carved open there, and they're fortunate, Peter, that Barkhazen can't finish.
No, it looked for all the world a goal, and the Derby County supporters must starting to be having some serious misgivings about their future in the FA Cup, because it's not like they haven't got into good range, they haven't failed to create good positions. Not a foul, referee.
They won't give it. Nevitt picks up the loose ball to Cooney on the wide right hand side, firing it downfield for White, who's going to make the player pass the ball back to the goalkeeper, and Derby will start from deep inside their own half with the very experienced captain Conor Hourahan up to the halfway line, sprays it out towards his number 12 Corey Smith, who's hardly had any involvement in the game. Mendes Lang on this right hand side now. Adebisi trying to stop the cross. He doesn't stop the cross, and it goes. Good header out in the end by Offord. The referee says no, free kick again on not getting much protection, Baker Richardson. Whether the referee feels as though he's using it to his advantage, I'm not sure, but he hasn't picked up on any free kicks for the Crewe Alexandra 7-goal man this season.
Is that him joint leading scorer with Chris Long now?
Yeah, you're right, and Nevitt on 6. Mendes Lang didn't know where to go, ball out of play, throw in. Midway inside the Crewe half, down Derby's right as they attack left to right in the first half. Connor Thomas beaten by Mendes Lang, running to the touchline. Crewe got to win that midfield battle, and the ball's still with Derby. Hourahan feeds it through, good read by Rooney, good ball out as well to Nevitt. Wants Baker Richardson to be involved, and he is. Oh, nice play, sent 2 Derby players the wrong way, but well, Cooney's got to make them play, and in the end they did.
It's unlucky, but they've just seen the first signs of fatigue from the Alex. I noticed Joe White pointed for a ball, play me in behind, then realised his legs didn't really want to get him there. That was a big run for Cooney over on that right hand side, so it's ever likely. It's not surprising. There's 1 or 2 players there with not loads of minutes under the belts anyway, and they've had to get through a lot of work this afternoon. Still a long way to go.
Well, Lee Bell knows he hasn't got a lot of options. Paul Warne knows he has, and we expected 3, possibly 3 or 2 double change or triple change for Derby County. Mendes Lang going to fire one, and he does, and the goalkeeper does well to parry it, and White puts it out of play. Substitution time, I think, because Crewe getting ready for making a substitution as well.
Looks like it.
Shortly.
Yeah.
Possibly Alan Rowe, I would think, to bring some life to it. Doing all right, Billington, grown in the game.
I think he's surviving, isn't he? And that's credit to him. Really, really tricky, especially Mendes Lang over on this side.
James Collins is going to be an experienced striker coming on here. Derby trying to build into the penalty area. We're expected to go now. Playing a 1-2. Good clearance by Billington. Crewe pegged back though. Picked up by Sonny Bradley, who's still getting the boos from the home crowd for his involvement and tussles with Courtney Baker Richardson. Conor Hourahan. Crewe giving a great account of himself when you consider what team Lee Bell could have. As Billington does well, but at the expense of a throw-in. Changes about to be made now, and it's going to be also on Kane Wilson. any time now. Derby trying to reduce that 2-goal deficit. Crewe getting ready for Aaron Rowe. First change. Derby on the right hand side with Mendes-Lang. Using Nyambi to deliver the cross into the penalty, free header. Out for a throw in. Big moments for Aaron Rowe. He's got to quickly get involved in the game, and Elliot Nevitt is coming off. He's gone down with a bit of cramp. And they get a round of applause that he thoroughly deserves, Peter, because once again, not only has he scored a lovely goal, he's put in a great effort.
Yeah, it has. I think there's been no shortage of effort from anyone on the pitch, but he's got his reward as well with a lovely goal, clinical finish. And Aaron Rowe will present an entirely different problem for Derby. Very different player. He's got to try and be responsible in the build-up.
Derby yet to make those. Yeah, they're making 4 substitutes, so get ready, Pete, with numbers off. More important. So off comes number 14. Washington, who's already been mentioned. James Collins replaces him. Off comes Craig Forsyth. Kane Wilson replaces him. 23, Joe Ward on. Off comes Tom Barkhuizen. And the final one is Cashin, who's usually a defender. They're taking Bradley off. Bye-bye, they say the Crewe fans.
Well, he's lost that battle for sure.
Yeah, he has.
He's probably the architect of his own downfall.
I was going to say he started it, now he lost it. So 4 changes made.
Well, he's certainly not been shy about it, has he, Paul Warne?
No.
And the game's back on.
Ball's in the Crewe penalty area, headed out. Where will Rowe figure, Pete?
Well,
what will his role be?
Well, I think he'll be up down the middle, probably slightly off Courtney Baker-Richardson, unless there's a real change in formation. We'll see how it pans out.
He's getting it even down the touchline now.
I don't think that's a change that the manager would have made if Nevitt was still 100%.
He's gone the wrong way, I think, Sonny Bradley. He's getting some real stick. Anyway, his Derby side are trying to build inside the Crewe penalty area. Looking to pull a goal back. They're on this right-hand side with Joe Ward. Fires one in. Not the best of clearances, so Crewe got to try and get it out of their penalty area. Dimitrio's the battler for it. And between them, they get the ball up to the halfway line. Approaching the midway point of the second half. Crewe 2, Derby County of League 1 0. Goals from Courtney Baker-Richardson at the end of the first half and an early second one from Elliot Nevitt. Derby bringing 4 changes in the last few minutes. You're live on BBC Radio Stoke on all frequencies.
This could be what the game looks like from now on. I mean, it has for long spells anyway, but Crewe camped on the edge of their own box, retreating in it now.
That's easy for the goalkeeper. Oh, he was late there, Peter. What happened there? I don't know. I thought that looked to be easy for the goalkeeper to catch, but he's palmed it behind for a corner. Not sure whether he got his angles right or whatever. It will be a corner.
Well, in fairness to him, you know, he's got a responsibility to sort of edge out a little bit and look for the cross, and thought he reacted really quite well there athletically.
Corner goes in. Good header out. Second phase, Cooney has to win it. Just about wins it. Crewe on the break. White, he was kicked out a little bit there. White should have been passing it. Don't need to try to be too clever. Great play to get out, but yeah, you're right. Here come Derby again with Mendes-Lang on the left-hand side now. Good delivery at the back stick. Header in towards goal, but great defended by Dimitrio to get the final header to clear it out of the Crewe penalty area.
He's absolutely magnificent in the air, Mickey Dimitrio, and I mean, there can't be hardly anyone in all the leagues better than him.
Ball still cleared by Baker-Richardson. Derby pushing, prompting, probing. Crewe having the answers at the moment by standing firm. Here come Derby again with Max Bird. Goes centre field towards Aaron Cashin gets it wide on the left-hand side. Whipped across in, and again overhit, corner. Derby fans are just sensing that a goal now could really turn this game. They've taken a quick corner, right-hand side, in it goes now, flicked header in, header out by Crewe. Picked up by Mendes Lang, 25 yard from goal. Feeds it through to Joe Ward. Another ball in the Crewe penalty area. Good header out by Offord. Crewe can't continue like this though, Pete.
I can't continue like this.
The fans are trying to say get out, but they can't get the ball, so they can't come out. They're running at Cooney. Good cross, corner. With the substitute Kane Wilson on. Corner on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, there's some brilliant defending. Offord, well, the three centre-halves all together have been colossal for Crewe, but there's so much weight on their shoulders.
Different corner this time, nobody in the penalty area. Left side, left-footed drill. Good header out, that's what Baker Richard can do. He gets distance, picked up by Mendes Lang. Running into the edge of the penalty area. The corner taker's waiting for that second ball in, and feeds it in. Goalkeeper's in a good position, holds on to it, and they can take a breather, Pete, and so can we. Come in, Phil Bowers.
Can they take 25 minutes? Well, I mean, it's whatever happens, I think it's been a really
terrific,
terrific performance. You know, the grit, the determination, togetherness that you've needed. There's been some quality. There's been, I mean, they're running every yard they can for the club at the moment. And
well,
Derby found it hard, haven't they? You know, and I think that, you know, what we said could happen, felt it was unlikely, but could happen in terms of them losing a bit of confidence and getting the supporters on the backs. I mean, they're quiet, aren't they? The Derby fans, they're all stood up, but they're absolutely quiet.
There we go. There's a ball forward. It's taking deflection. Harvey Davis will come and gather it. Don't forget, there's another big game coming in. Exactly, of course, when Notts County will be the opponents right in the final line for automatic promotion, since coming back into the league, and Crewe on a good run as well, starting the position in the table, 5th in the table. And this result, if it can take it with this result, will give them a great lift in terms of what the season might unfold for them. Who knows? That's the love of football. Nobody knows. That's Swindon. Ball's back with the goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith. Out on this right hand side is Nyambi. Ball forward to Mendes Lang. On this right hand side, good stop, but he's picked up a second ball, running at Billington. He's going to get to the byline, he's going to pull it back. Thomas in excellent position, been sound and fine, but now it needs to go, I think. Don't get caught. Can they win possession? On the halfway line, they've forced it back to Derby County to start again.
He's the man, isn't he? Mendes Lang for Derby. He looks easily the main threat. Lewis Billington just pulled up a bit there after being left behind. I think he's okay. I'm concerned he was injured, because I'm not entirely sure what
you're right. There's something might be right. Well, the ball has to be there for Adebisi. It isn't. It goes to Joe Ward. Cross into the penalty area. Great defending from Offord. Corner, but super. Ryan Diffley's just putting a few words into the manager Lee Bell's ear as the corner goes. They've taken a quick corner on this right hand side to Mendes Lang. Now he's going to run into the penalty area, but he decides to go a different way. Cross goes in. Poor. White should be clearing his line, but there's no red shirt there, but it's deep, and that's the way it has to be. They can't just come running out. There's no way they can do that, because they've got too many tired legs as well. They've got to stand the run.
Just the way it is, isn't it, this game now? I think it's set in stone what it's going to be like.
Ball behind the defence, in for the right hand side. Poor play with the cross and cleared by O'Riordan as Charlie Colcott is going to make his comeback in the next few minutes. Mendes Lang up against Billington. Good work at the expense of a corner.
He's looking at the bench. He's just signalled that he needs to come off.
Yeah. What they'll do there is put Adebisi, won't they?
Yeah, be Adebisi to there, and then Colcott into midfield.
Crewe got to survive this corner before they take the substitution, but Charlie Colcott's getting ready. Header over the crossbar, and welcome back Charlie Colcott, a lovely lad. Let's just hope, fingers crossed, everything can go right for this player.
Yeah, he's had unbelievably bad luck with injuries, hasn't he? Just can't catch a break. You know, real professional. who does everything right, but hopefully this will go right for him.
Terrific for the crowd to applaud the work of Lewis Billington, one of Crewe's own academy players. Gets his first taste of FA Cup football, and he'll hope by the end of the night it's one that he can remember. I'm worn out, he says.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have expected to be starting this game, and he's done himself no harm. He's given everything that he's got. I don't know whether he was struggling before that last sprint against Mendes Lang, but afterwards he was definitely looking like his race was run. And no, Joe White. No, right, no.
Rio.
Yeah.
Joe White's come to the left.
Yeah, it is what we thought.
Yeah, well, Adebisi against Mendes Lang is going to be an interesting last 15 minutes, because Crewe's Rio Adebisi is right up there with the top performers today. Crewe lead 2-0 on FA Cup first round weekend. The winners of this tie will be at home to Bristol Rovers. For Port Vale, if they can beat Burton away, and the replay will be away at Stevenage. There's a collision there, and Dimitrio ran into his player and left him down on the ground. That player is Corey Smith. Here go Derby on Crewe's right, their left. Cooney doesn't know where he's gone. Oh, he nearly got the wrong cross tackling there. He got away with it. If he'd have caught him, that would have been a penalty, Pete.
Yeah, it looked like it, but luckily he just used his brain there and stayed on his feet, and he's not won a free kick.
Well, that's a blatant free kick, but Derby are on the attack now, just outside the penalty area. Into the penalty area goes. Davis comes, looking confident, and getting ready to find the ball up front. Well, that's what Crewe want, some attacking play just to give them a bit of breathing space, Pete.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think there's any. We might see the odd glimpse, but I don't think it's going to happen. Courtney Baker-Richardson more isolated now. He's playing wide, really.
White, good play, intelligent play, up there with his best performance today. Connor Ian, Charlie Colquitt slings it downfield, just give it away, was a bit short there. Thomas trying to win it in midfield. Colquitt does win it. And the fans appreciate his recovery there, even though it's gone to Joe Wildsmith. 78 on the watch, 12 plus added time to go. On BBC Radio Stoke, a very good Sunday evening to you. Where have you been? If you're just tuning our way, we could be on to a real good result for the League Two side. Crewe 2, Derby 0. Change again for Derby. Sibley coming on any time now. 9 substitutes named. How many can you use then, Pete? 5?
Pass.
Ball behind the defence. Beats Crewe's defending. Ball in the penalty area, goal. James Collins, and the flag's gone up. It's ruled out, but it was too easy. Down that side, the cross went in. Collins was inside the 6-yard box. Fired it into the empty net. Flag was up. Still 2-0 Crewe. Warning sign.
Well, I mean, we've had warning signs for 78 minutes, haven't we? I think the biggest eye-opener there is Collins will take a chance, won't he, if he gets the opportunity. I think you just saw how he took that away nice and calmly without any problems. He's giving the assistant referee a rocket now. I can't really comment on whether that was offside or not.
No, I can't. It looked, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. One for Crewe, that one anyway. Anxious moments. Long time to go. This is the FA Cup. There's always stories in the FA Cup. The story today could be that Derby are 2-0 down, and you never know what could be the end result. That's how it unfolds. Crewe defending manfully the League Two side. Derby picking up centre midfield with Hurahan. Edge of the penalty area. Crewe win possession, but again, once they clear it, there's no red shirt to find. Here come Derby on the right hand side with Joe Ward. Infield it goes to Corey Smith. Opposite side now. Now we're coming centre field inside the Crewe half. To Aaron Cashin. Infield it goes to Sibley into the penalty area. Not the best of clearances, but helped out by O'Riordan, who's been a real strength at the back.
Those three have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
The 3 centre-halves have been unbelievable. Just seen a replay of the goal. It was offside. No doubt about that. It looked pretty clear.
Well, the BC heads it, but can't find a red shirt. Corner.
How many corners now? Are you counting, have you?
Well, they had 7 in the first half, and they've probably had 4 now in the second. I give up.
Can't have probably. This is the beat. We're supposed to be professional. Can't have probably.
Double figures.
All right.
Corner on the right-hand side, left-footed. Into double figures for the corners for Derby. Hit long this time. All the way across the face of the goal, and that's a goal kick.
And that was Baker Richardson jumping, and he's been absolutely massive as well. And there's been so many balls that have come into the Alex box, and those 3 centre halves and Baker Richard in particular have been immense in the way that they've challenged for everyone. They've won most of them. They can't do any more, Crewe, can they, from what they've done today?
What the next few minutes is going to be now, Peter. Enter number 33 in Callum Agus, and off will come Joe White, who's been excellent for Crewe Alexandra today. It's an interesting change, but Agus is an attacking midfield player. White's given everything, had some real quality on his play. But Callum Agus, who was youth team football on Thursday for him and the goal scorer, is now coming into FA Cup round 1 day.
And Mickey Demetrio has been stood next to Ryan Dicker while that change has been made to learn about the idea for it. Yeah, I mean, Joe White looked like he was fatiguing a while ago. I think he's been excellent, really do. I think he's played very, very well. He's not got any more to give, so Callum Agus, an opportunity, no pressure on him at all. We've seen that he's got some qualities.
Goal kick, can't just kick the ball. Running around like a good one though at the moment. We've just got to keep your position, don't get caught out of position. Here come Derby, got the ball behind the fence. Oh, terrific by Demetrio. First involvement for Agus. Slides it downfield, out of play. He'll feel better now he's had a touch early as well. 83 minutes approaching of the game. On BBC Radio Stoke. 0800 121 8080. Have a word with Phil Bowers once the final whistle's blown. All the reaction that comes to the weekend's football involving Crewe, Stoke and Vale in the breakfast programme tomorrow. We're in for an interesting end to this game. Peter Morse.
Don't want an interesting end to this game. We want to be bored stiff by the next few minutes.
White, nice feet. Baker Richardson, no free kick.
That was a free kick, I think. I think that one was, yeah.
He hasn't given him one all afternoon.
I think he's read those quite well, the referee, to be fair. I think there's been 1 or 2 occasions.
Well, Rowe will fit this one up and he'll show how quick he is if he can get on the end of it, but now he's lost out on the halfway line. Derby coming again. Into the penalty, good 1-2, good read by Offa, terrific play from him. Better than League 2 level, Pete.
Well, that is a foul. Well, it's a slight concern how many players we'll have left in January, because if you're a scout watching in, you want a centre half offered O'Riordan, you might even take Demetrio. I know he's not in the same sort of bracket, but they've been so good. And that was another good bit of play by Offa, the cool and composure that he showed to bring the ball out. Got the foul, referee finally whistled for one.
Demetrio and Thomas, very experienced players, telling their players what they want from them now in the last 10-15 minutes of this game. The team lead by 2-0. Good leap by Baker Richardson. Ball out of play, throw into Crewe. He really has come fired up once his altercation happened with Bradley in the first half. He's scored and he's been involved in one as well. Could be the man of the moment for the microphone if it can go Crewe's way. Who knows at the end of the game. He's on it now on the left hand side. Loses possession, unfortunately, never really had it under control. Derby build inside the Crewe half, down their left now with Kane Wilson. Over the halfway line he goes. Still Wilson, he's made a lot of tracks, he's taking on Cooney. Hasn't delivered a cross yet, he's held play up to Hurahan. Into the penalty area it goes, header out by Demetrio. Going to be cleared, and it's going to go out of play. No, it's not, it's going to be picked up by Derby on the byline left hand side. Coming in field, inviting the number 6 Cashin to get the ball forward. Cashin waits in support for the return. The cross goes in, right footed, header in, and it's cleared, and lucky escape again. Collins it was who got across his man. Goalkeeper didn't get on the end of it. Adabishi whacked it away. Here come Derby again to the byline, coming in with the right foot shot. That'll do for Crewe. And once again, Peter, they are living dangerous.
He's got to do a bit better than that, Aaron Rowe. out on that. You know, he shouldn't have any shortage of energy. I know he's not a defender, but he's got to be a little bit harder to beat than that. On 2 occasions, they just walked past him and got the ball in. Crewe rode the luck. You have to ride your luck to try and win games like this. It just squirmed away. Harvey Davis had a BC on hand to sweep away with his right foot, and the clock continues to tick far too slowly for my liking.
You're never satisfied. Oh, he's gone over the advertising board, Courtney Baker-Richardson. You know what happened last week when Zach Williams went over the covers? We don't want any more freak accidents.
Quite ironic that, isn't it? Crewe have got the boards right close to the pitch now.
KPI's end of the ground in good voice at the moment. Derby fans, 1 or 2 now beginning to leave. But they've had a great following here. We'll get the official crowd as soon as it comes through. But there's got to be somewhere near 2,000 of them who've travelled down the A50 to watch this game, and at the moment they're fairly quiet, but they're still prompting and probing. Mendes Lang on the left-hand side, looking at hit one. Ball breaks, Crewe don't pick it up, picked up by Hourahan. Edge of the penalty area, it goes into the penalty area, cleared by Colkett. Ball out of play, throw in.
Well, Derby just haven't managed yet to just get that momentum. You do feel that Crewe conceded 1 goal earlier on.
I just think they've lacked craft, Pete. They haven't really tried any craft to undo Crewe.
Yeah, maybe. They've lobbed a lot of balls into the box, but they have forged up really good positions as well. If you think about the couple of positions Barkhausen's got into and Mendes Lang's header over the bar.
Here come Derby again. Ball fired in. This time again. Crewe hack it away, but not with distance. Derby pick it up. Right-hand side. Whipped it cross this time. Good defending. Looked a free kick to me, but it's on the edge of the penalty area. Headed out by Offord. Battle for the ball. Derby have it with Mendes Lang. Coming back 10 yards towards Cashin. To Mendes Lang again. Cashin's on the overlap, but it's gone towards Wilson, who's quick and lively at the moment. Mendes Lang, edge of the penalty area. Looking to hit one. Gets it on his left foot. Mendes Lang, goal! Straight through the goalkeeper. And Mendes Lang has brought one back. And unfortunately it wasn't the best, but I thought that they looped a low shot and the goalkeeper should have been handling it better. But Derby are in it because there's still plenty of time to go. Crewe 2, Derby 1.
I think that's the real first clear goalkeeping mistake he's made. His handling's been so good. It's been so good today. Well, just what you don't. Well, just when you really felt that Derby were dying off, you know, running out of hope, running out of ideas. They've given themselves a lifeline now. All eyes will be on the 4th official's board.
Yeah, they won't be happy with that one, Crewe, with the way it went in. It went in very sloppy for me. Anyway, it's brought game on as we go towards the 89th minute of the game. Crewe, Alexandra lead by 2 goals to 1, and Cooney's gone down injured with a head injury. And the referee says play on. He's Connor in and whacks the ball out. There's life in the Derby fans now. They're getting this stoppage time shortly. Can Alexandra see it out? They'll be very disappointed the way that they conceded Derby's goal. Cooney has gone down. Referee will add time on for that. He's not happy with it, Cooney. Well, not while we're playing, we've got the game stopped. Let's have a look at the goal. Mendes Lang waited, gets it, lines it up, left-footed. No, not very good. Not very good goal to concede by Crewe Alexandra. Just seen the second viewing of it, and they'll be well disappointed that that's handed Derby a lifeline. We're still waiting the 4th official to bring us up to date with the stoppage time, but Derby are fancying their chances of earning a replay. Ball into the penalty area. Good gloves this time. Here we go, added time.
And he needed that, didn't he,
6
Harvey Davis?
minutes.
Why do we keep having the 0 anyway?
I don't know why 0 appears. Probably because we're getting up to 10 and 11 and 12 now.
It's enough to confuse me, that is.
6 minutes of added time. Crewe know that the pressure's going to be on their penalty area. Ball pumped downfield.
What they've got to do is realise that's a bit of a freak goal, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, they were defending well, and they've just got to keep doing what they were doing.
Baker Richardson picks up the ball, can't keep it though. So as you said, tired legs are occurring now. Crewe down with the numbers to make substitutions. Derby are building down the left-hand side. He's brought a lot of life, Kane Wilson, to the team. No free kick. And Davis will clear his lines.
Well, he hasn't given them all afternoon, the referee, and I think he's done well for both sides. Players trying to buy free kicks. He's read that situation a lot.
5 minutes to go. Derby on the attack on this right-hand side. Ball pumped into the penalty area. Headed out. Got to be cleared by Agus. Does well, but can't find a red shirt. Hourihane has it. Won't waste it, Hourihane. That's one thing he won't do. Mendes popping up on the right-hand side now. Cross going in right-footed. Cross the face of the goal it goes. And Colquitt clears his lines, and again Derby pick it up.
Got to get some height and distance on these clearances.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't done that particularly well all afternoon. But here's Mendes-Lang again. They put in a terrific shift over the League Two side. Ball's back with Derby's number 8, Bird, into the penalty area. Breaks here, the goalkeeper comes out, holds on to it.
That could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? Dear me.
Approaching 2 minutes of the sixth gone. Nerve-wracking stuff, but this is Crewe, Pete. We're used to it.
I'm still not acclimatised. It's only been 35 years.
Your beard's got grey hairs in it.
It wasn't. There weren't any there before kick-off. Just getting the attendance read out now.
5,201 are here, 2,134 Derby fans are living in hope at the moment that they can salvage it. They're on the left-hand side. Crewe have got every man back inside their own half, inviting Derby on. Spread out to the right-hand side to Max Bird. Up to the edge of the penalty area to Mendes-Lang. He's played a good move here. Edge of the penalty area. Chance of equaliser, goal! Derby County have got back on level terms. Mendes-Lang pulled the ball back and they fired into the roof of the net, and the travelling fans are delighted that Derby County have salvaged it. Disappointment for Crewe, but it's Crewe 2, Derby 2.
What a shame. As I said earlier, I think whenever Derby got one goal, you felt another was likely to come, and there's just so many tired legs out there. Connor Thomas tried to win the ball, but he's not played any minutes for God knows how long, and he's still out there on 93. It's really tough justice on Crewe. They've got to just make sure they at least force the replay now.
2-2, Mendes-Lang has got a goal and he's got an assist, and we've still got 2 minutes remaining. We're all square at 2-2. Could be another replay for our local sides to Pride Park, but who knows. Crewe have still got to see through. The least they deserve is to be having another opportunity. Ball downfield, halfway line, ball behind the defence. Dimitrio will play back to his goalkeeper. So close it was for Crewe. Going up to the 94th minute, and I moved quickly there because I wasn't sure Harvey Davis was going to get on there. Into the final minute then of what has been quite a lot of goals in this particular game. 4 in total at the moment. Here's Mendes-Lang, who's been in danger, going in field, wanting a free kick. Thomas brings it out. Halfway line to Baker Richardson, back to Adebisi. Got to go downfield, it has to Agus. Over the halfway line, good area for where Crewe are at the moment. Infield to Thomas, one last attack. Goes out on the right hand side to Luke Offord. The 95 minutes are nearly up. Here's Colquitt, slides it through, poor pass. Given away.
Too much on it. I thought if they got a winner now, the roof would come off, wouldn't it?
Derby County have survived by the looks of it against League Two side Crewe, led 2-0 at one stage. Well, a fantastic effort by Lee Bell's side, but Derby still prompting and probing, looking that they might fancy the winner. Ball out of play. We're going into the final minute, and at the end of the day, Pete, Lee Bell will be thinking what might have been, but what an effort his side have put in for him.
Yeah, it's a shame it's come this way round. I mean, if you draw 2-2 but you're 2-0 down, or it feels totally different. It'll be a deflated feel in the Crewe dressing room at full time now, but they should be proud of themselves. They've surprised all of us with just how well they've done. The effort and the commitment's been really first class from every player who's pulled on the red shirt.
Last attack for Derby, probably over the halfway line. This fella's brought a lot of life into the team. Kane Wilson gets it out on the left hand side. Derby looking to cross the ball with Wilson, and 96 minutes are more or less up, but this is a chance for Derby to fire one in. In the end, the ball breaks, edge of the penalty area. Derby fans wanted a free kick. They're getting the shot in, blocked by Aaron Rowe. Looks like a replay at Pride Park is looming for the League Two side, but Derby keeping possession. Wide on the left hand side it goes now. The time is up, but we're still playing. Here comes Derby again to the byline. Here it goes, cross into the penalty area, over the crossbar, and that should be about it. That's a goal kick. Surely that is it now.
You'd have thought so. It'll be interesting to see Lee Bell's thoughts after this game when you speak to him.
Paul Warne will feel a lot relieved, Peter.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be proud of the players. I don't know why the referee's still playing this game.
Ball pumped forward. Can Aaron Rowe just have one touch on the ball? It brings something. Whacked out of play. Dimitrio will not throw it in from there, I don't think. Oh, he is. They're going forward. Dimitrio's going to throw it in.
And the referee's going to allow time for it.
He's warned them, Paul Warne, pardon the pun, of Crewe being good from set plays. Here's Dimitrio now. Not going to reach a dangerous area, but Crewe got to try and win the flick on. Headed out play, there goes the final whistle. And the League Two side deservingly live to fight another day. They'll be disappointed they didn't in the end see Derby County out of the FA Cup. Led 2-0, but Nathan Mendes-Lang has made a difference when he was on the ball. He scored one and made one, and Derby County are still in the hat like Crewe Alexandra. Good effort from the Crewe team when you compare the two squads and the resources that the opposition had, but at the end of the day it's still a game of football, 11 against 11, and Crewe will still feel the more disappointed than the two teams that we've watched this afternoon and this evening. Finished 2-2, Phil.
Heartbreak then for Crewe. It's been such a good performance up until those last 10 minutes or so when Derby really turned up the pressure. There were lots and lots of tired legs out there today, but Crewe can be really proud. For the majority of this game they have stood toe to toe with one of the biggest teams in the bottom two Football League divisions, and they were superb against them. And in the end it was just a bit of tired legs. There was a few knocks and winded players out there, and Derby really turned it on with the strength and depth that they had off the bench as well. Proved crucial. Peter Morse, I mean, Lee Bell can't be anything other than proud of his players today, despite the fact that they've let that 2-goal lead slip. Yeah,
I've got no doubt. I think they've surprised us all, and I think that's reflected in the reception they're getting from the supporters after the game. You can look at it one way and say they've conceded 2 goals late on and thrown it away, but what an effort to get to that stage. It really was. Such a challenging afternoon. Derby have got good players as they go around and thank their travelling supporters. I'm just watching Ryan Dicker, Kenny Lunt coming off. They look disappointed. It's a shame that they're going to feel disappointed after that, because as I say, it was a great team effort, lots and lots of positives from it, and they're still in the cup. They've still got a replay to go to. They're going to go to a big stage and see if they can turn on and upset again.
Couple of mentions for individual players. Rio Adebisi, who got man of the match, he was outstanding. Courtney Baker-Richardson, Elliot Nevitt is worth a mention for his goal as well. At the back as well, Conor O'Riordan I thought had a really, really good game. Luke Offord and Dimitri were either side of him, really outstanding too. I mean, there was so many individual good performances out there that those 2 late goals shouldn't disguise.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot individually to take from the game and collectively. Some of the individual performances you've just mentioned, but really across the side, I mean, they all did themselves at least justice, if not, did better than that, and really elevated their own sort of status, perhaps in the eyes of watching scouts or the supporters who are following the game as well. I mean, I hope they prove something to themselves, because they're wanting to challenge at the top end of League Two. Well, you ought to be able to do that if you can put on a performance like that against a Derby County team, despite having the numbers missing that aren't able to play today. So I mean, it's going to be a a disappointing feeling for them now, but I think that when the dust settles they'll realise that they've acquitted themselves really, really well, come ever so close to knocking Derby County out of the cup, but they've got another opportunity to try again.
And part of that, though, we must remember as well, look at what Derby did bring off the bench. You know, Kane Wilson, James Collins, they've played at levels higher than this, and they proved the difference. Mendes Lang ultimately proved so much of a danger that they couldn't cut him out of the game, and it was his goal that really sparked Derby into life.
Yeah, he was a thorn in the side all the way through, and you could see that Derby wanted to get the ball to his feet as often as they possibly could. He was very hard to hold. He's direct, he's got pace, he's got strength, and he's got quality as well, and I think he was the catalyst for their recovery, and the strength and depth they've got, the likes of James Collins coming on, the changes that they made 4 at once, Paul Warne made, whereas Crewe were just using what they've got, and I thought the players that came on gave everything that they possibly could, but it is a mismatch. This game is a mismatch, and Crewe haven't been beaten.
The interesting thing is when the replay will actually take place, Pete, because a week on Tuesday, which is when all the other FA Cup replays are slated for that aren't on the TV, Crewe have got a game already in the EFL Trophy against Newcastle under-21, so you would think, wouldn't you, that might end up being moved if this game ends up being on a Tuesday?
Could be, should be. It's a dead rubber, that as well, Phil. Neither team can go through. They should just shake hands and forget it, but I'm sure that won't be
we
the
could do it in Estonia, Scotland, and just one not turn up, and they just flip a coin and go, right, you get 3-0.
Just flip a coin. That'll probably be the outcome. We'll have to wait and see, but it's surely going to take precedence, isn't it?
You would think. Anyway, Pete, for now, thank you very much. We'll have a brief praise and grumble that we'll squeeze in between now and 5 o'clock here on BBC Radio Stoke, but let's bring you up to date with one or two of the other scores. There have been games going on up and down the country in League and Cup this afternoon.